Good evening to all, and welcome to the session. Before I go to the actual session, I have got an important announcement on behalf of Unacademy platform. There is an important offer, and this is set preparation offer. It is combo prices revealed. What is this combo offer? Combo prices. It is for both SSA and bank. And if you take this offer, you can get up to 21% off, besides 12 additional months absolutely free. Right now, the price is 10,200, 1 year subscription, but the actual price, but the new price is 7,999. And the old price, 2 years subscription, 12,200, and new price offer 9,999. Not only that, if you use my referral code, you can see apply code. This referral code, Korlapati 4 5077, you will get another 10% discount. 10% discount. Now, these are the top educators. These educators, they have the experience as well as expertise. And this batch is starting from 23rd June, but today also we have the offer. And best platform for SSC preparation, Unacademy platform. You get 30 plus unlimited access to 30 plus batches every week, and 300 plus classes a day, 70 plus educators, and 40,000 hours of recorded content, and 20,000 practice questions. 90% trusted, over 90% SSC aspirants. So do remember, that's a good offer. You can save a lot of money. Now let us go to the actual session. 200 grammar rules. And I have taught so far 40 grammar rules, and today it is going to be, I'm going to start with 41. But today I'm not going to teach a lot of rules. 41 itself takes a lot of time. There are so many verbs, and the topic is confusing verbs. So 41 goes with, rule number 41 goes with confusing verbs. In English, we have types of verbs. So many classifications are there. One, we say irregular verbs, irregular verbs. Another classification, transitive verbs, intransitive verbs. Another third classification, finite verbs, non-finite verbs. Here we focus on regular and irregular. What is a regular verb? Any verb that takes a D or ED to form its past and past participle forms is called a regular verb. For example, talk, talked, talked, smile, smiled, smiled, dance, danced, danced, and walk, walked, walked. These verbs take D or ED, so these are called regular verbs. And the other one, irregular verbs. What are irregular verbs? They don't take D or ED. For example, only a few verbs are irregular, many verbs are irregular. For example, go, went, gone, see, saw, seen, buy, bought, bought. All these, they don't take fall, fell, fallen. They don't take D or ED. These are known as irregular verbs. Based on that, we have confusing verbs. What is important here, some verbs in English, they can be used both as regular verbs as and irregular verbs. The same verb can be a regular verb and an irregular verb. And sometimes what happens, if the meaning doesn't change, there's no problem. But sometimes the meaning changes, the usage also changes. Now, the first one here, you all know the word hang. Hang can be an irregular verb, it can be a regular verb. Now, when I say regular, irregular, it should not be a problem for you to understand. Hang can be a regular as well as an irregular verb. As an irregular verb, what are the three forms? Present, past, and past participle. Hang, hung, hung. As a regular verb, what are the three forms? Hang, hanged, hanged. Now, here, as an irregular verb, it goes with things. As a regular verb, it goes with persons. Kill a person with a rope. Look at the examples. He was hanged last week. In this example, we cannot say he was hung. What is the reason? Here we are talking about a person. For persons, we should use hang, hanged, hanged. It is the regular form. Second example, she hung the clothes in the backyard last evening. Here we are talking about clothes, things. Here we cannot say hanged. We should say hung. She hung the clothes in the backyard last evening. They have hanged the terrorist. Why is missing? They have hanged the terrorist. Terrorist, a person. Here we cannot say hung. We have to say hanged. I hope you got the first one. What is the first one under confusing verbs? It is hang, hung, hung, and also hang, hanged, hanged. What is the difference if you ask me? Hang, hung, hung goes with things. Hang, hanged, hanged goes with persons. Very important. They have given in many exams. The next pair confusing verbs: find, found, found, founded, founded. Find means what? To discover something by chance. I found someone, I found something. Discover by chance. And another verb, a separate verb, found. It means to establish or to start something. Usually, something like a company, an organization, a society, a club, any of these. Now, look at the examples. He has found a diamond in the park. Usually it doesn't happen. If it happens, everyone starts going to the park, a particular park. He has found. Here I have used the irregular find, found, found. He has found a diamond in the park. This is an irregular verb. Find, found, found. And she founded a society for tribals in 2010. She founded. What is the verb here? Found. It is in past. What is the past form of that? Founded. She founded a society for tribals in 2010. He founded the company in 1971. Here the sentence is in past. The verb is found. What is the past form? Founded. He founded the company in 1971. They have found a stray dog in the street. They have found a stray dog. Here it is the first one: find, found, found. They have found. It's an irregular form. They have found what? A stray dog. Then you may ask, so what is the meaning of the word stray? Usually, stray goes with animals. Stray dog means the dog does not belong to anyone. Stray dog means a dog does not belong to anyone. We can also say street dog. And sometimes the word goes with children, stray children, orphans. They don't have parents, and we can also call them street children or stray children. But generally speaking, the word goes with dogs, stray cat, animals. I hope you got the second one. Please respond by saying yes or no, then I will understand you guys. Or, yes, of course, that is right. Say yes, sir, then I'll go to the next one. Try to make it interactive. The next one is rather confusing. What is the reason? Here, that I'm going to teach tomorrow, private working aspirant, that I'm going to teach tomorrow because too many confusing verbs, you will get confused. I don't want that to happen. Too many confusing verbs the same day. What will happen? You will get confused. I don't want that to happen. Now, generally speaking, answer my question. What is the word bear? Bear. Which part of speech is it? Yes, stray means does not belong to anyone. What is the meaning of the word bear? Which part of speech is it? Bear can be a noun, bear can be a verb. As a noun, it's an animal. Brown bear, grizzly bear, polar bear, teddy bear, noun. But bear has many meanings as a verb. As a verb, it means to give birth, it means to carry something, it means to tolerate something. Please bear with the delay, please bear the pain, tolerate. So many meanings. But here, two meanings are important. One is to give birth, the other one to carry something. Now, here, bear, bore, present and past, no problem. When it comes to the past participle form, look at born, B-O-R-N, born, B-O-R-N-E, born. You should focus on that. What is the difference? B-O-R-N means to give birth to someone. B-O-R-N-E means to carry something, to carry something. Now look at the examples. I was born and brought up in Vishakhapatnam. I was born. We use the word born in passive voice. Your mother gives birth to you. You are at the receiving end. So here this expression is always in the passive voice. I was born and brought up in Vishakhapatnam. Here B-O-R-N. The load was borne by the donkey. Here, what is the spelling? B-O-R-N-E. Borne means carried. The load was carried by the donkey. She was born in Bombay. She was born in Bombay. B-O-R-N. So you got to be very careful with the spelling, the past participle form. Now, shall I go to the next one? I'm still with confusing verbs. And here, the next pair is yes, airborne diseases, waterborne diseases means what? That is right, Naresh. They're carried by air, they're carried by water. A typical expression, waterborne diseases. The next pair, confusing verbs, fall, fell, fallen. This is an irregular verb. There is another verb, fell, felled, felled. This is a regular verb. What does it mean? Fall, you all must be knowing. Move from a higher level to a lower level. Fall from the tree, fall from the branch, fall from the apartment, the first floor. Fell, felled, felled. This is an important one. It means to cut. Usually cut what? Trees. Now look at the examples. I fell all of a sudden while I was walking. This goes with the first one. Fall, fell, fallen. They felled many trees in our colony yesterday. They felled many trees in our colony yesterday. Here, felled means what? They cut many trees in our colony yesterday. She fell from the first floor of the apartment last night. This goes with the first one. Fall, fell, fallen. She fell from the first floor of the apartment last night. I hope you got the difference. Yes, sir, or no, sir? Then the next one, if you say yes, sir, I will go to the next one, next pair. This is the last one for today. Rise, rose, risen. Raise, raised, raised. They have given in so many exams. See, all these questions, all these confusing verbs are very important. You may ask, sir, why are they important? Not because I'm teaching. In many competitive exams, they have given questions based on confusing verbs and not easy under pressure. Not easy under pressure. All of a sudden, you see a lengthy sentence, unfamiliar context. It takes a lot of time to read and comprehend or read and understand, and you see the word rise or rose or raise, you don't focus on that and you may miss the error. So listen very carefully, practice some questions. I have brought one exercise, and do try to use mnemonics to remember, try to associate how to remember these confusing verbs. So what is the next pair? Rise, rose, risen. This is an intransitive verb. Now you may ask, sir, what is the difference between the what is the difference between intransitive verb and a transitive verb? Listen very carefully. In English, there are two concepts which are very important to learn grammar rules. One is a subject, the other one is object. Already have given the definitions. What is a subject? Whenever we talk about someone or something, that someone or something is a subject. Whenever we talk about someone or something. That someone or something is a subject. First definition. What is the second definition? Subject is a person or a thing who or which does action. Does action. Now, what is an object? An object is a person or a thing who or which receives action from the subject. Subject does action, object receives action. Now, here, what is rise, rose, risen? It is an intransitive verb. What is an intransitive verb? It is one which cannot take an object. It cannot take an object. And raise, raised, raised. This is a transitive verb. What is a transitive verb? It can take an object. That is one difference. What is the other difference? Rise, rose, risen, irregular verb. Raise, raised, raised, that is a regular verb. Now look at the examples. He has risen from the depths. Means rise means to come up. The sun rises in the east. Here we have to use rise. We have to raise the standards. Raise what? Ask the question. How do you find out the object? By using two question words, what or whom. We have to raise, take a pause, ask the question. We have to raise what? Standards. There is an object. Standards is the object. So raise, not rise. Please raise your hands. Again, please raise what? Your hands. If you get an answer with the question word what or whom, the answer is the object. Here we cannot say please raise your hands. That is not correct. We have to say please raise your hands. Now, this is all about the confusing verbs. Rule number 41. If you have a question regarding these, please ask. And someone was talking about, I'm fine, thank you. Someone was asking about lie, lay. That I'm going to teach tomorrow. That is very important, not easy to understand. And today itself, if I teach, it leads to confusion. If you say, sir, crystal clear, then I will go to practice questions. Shall I do that? Shall we go to the practice questions to begin with? Rise goes with prices, salaries, wages, and the sun rises in the east, all these. I don't see any response. Looks like you guys have got the concepts, or there's some sort of time lag. I'm not quite sure about that. But whatever it is, we will go to practice questions, confusing verbs. What is the first one? She was born and brought up in Delhi. Clear. Thank you. No question. If you respond, I'll be very happy. Now, there are some questions, 10 questions, practice questions. She was born and brought up in Delhi. Is it right or wrong? Waiting for practice questions. That's very good, Ishwar. Please answer the first one. Is it? First, you have to say right or wrong. Then you have to, if you say wrong, what is wrong with the sentence? She was born. Here the spelling should be B-O-R-N, born, not B-O-R-N-E. That means the sentence is wrong. Next one. I'm late today. Who is that, Vivek? They fell many trees in the town last week. She was born and brought up in Delhi. B-O-R-N. Sentence number two. Is it right or wrong? They fell many trees in the town last week. No one has responded for question number two. They felt, now I see private working aspirant. It is wrong. I see after that Prajapati. It is wrong. Why is it wrong? Here it talks about last week, time in the past. We should use the verb in the past form. What is the verb here? Fell. Fell means what? Cut. Cut what? Trees. Because the sentence is in past tense, we should use a verb in the past form. Based on that, fell is not correct. Felled is correct. They felled many trees in the town last week. Now, don't go to the next question. Listen to me very carefully. A similar question was given in SBI, many competitive exams, 2017 SBI. And what happens here? No, no, please listen. Don't go to question number three. Please listen. I'm telling something important. When you take the actual exam, you're under tremendous pressure and you look at the sentence, already have a fixed idea. What is that? Fall, fell, fallen. You look at the time aspect, last week, that means past, and fell, already registered, past. You think the sentence is right, you go for the fifth option. What is the fifth option? No error. But the sentence is wrong. What is the reason? That is the reason why I always tell my students, read the sentence, understand the context. Contextual awareness is very important. This talks about, it doesn't talk about fall, fell, fallen. It talks about fell, felled, felled. Means what? To cut trees. Based on that, the sentence is wrong. It should be, they felled many trees in the town last week. Many of you may think it's an easy question. Here it is an easy question. In the actual exam, it's a tough question, in my opinion, because you take things for granted and you may take this for granted and you go for fifth option. No, it is wrong. Now, question number three. You guys are very eager to answer. The entire load was borne by the donkey. Is it question number three? Wrong. What is wrong with this? Here the spelling should be B-O-R-N-E, borne. The entire load was borne means what? Carried by the donkey. They found a society for the indigenous people in 2005. Now, here again, this is an important question. What is the reason? In the actual exam, they have given in some competitive exams, this question, there is every possibility for you guys to go for the fifth option. What is the fifth option? No error. What is the reason? 2005, past. It goes into past. Then you know the sentence should be in past tense. Then what is the verb? Found. Already you have a fixed idea. Find, found, found. And you think, oh, found, it is correct. But actually, here it is not find, found, found. It is found, founded, founded. Means what? To establish. Based on that, because the sentence is in past, the verb should be in the past. We should say they founded a society for the indigenous people in 2005. Found is not correct, it should be founded. And there's one important word over here, indigenous. Indigenous means a native people, local people. It takes two combinations, indigenous people, indigenous tribals, people. Indigenous industries. Indigenous industries get wiped out when MNCs enter a particular country. Indigenous industries means what? Local industries, they get wiped out when an MNC comes into a particular country. Now, what is the answer? Question number five. Local, that is right. They have decided to rise the education standards. Is it right or wrong? Rise the education standards. That is object. Then you cannot use rise. It should be a raise. Based on that, what is the answer? They have decided to raise the education standards. RAISE, raise. Indigenous, original inhabitants, local, native, and also if you take the indigenous people, the local native people of Australia, there's one particular word, aboriginals. What is the word? Aboriginals. That's an important word. Good. Now let us go to sentence number six. The prices are raising, though the government is trying to control. So is it right or wrong? The prices are raising, though the government is trying to control. Five is raised. Now let us go to Sampath. You are here after a long time. Six, the prices are raising or rising? In spite of, it don't take only the word spite. In spite of means it expresses a contrast. There are two prepositions in English which express a contrast. One is despite, the other one is in spite of. Now, what is the difference between despite and in spite of? Despite is a little more formal than in spite of. In many exams, they've given questions based on despite. How do they ask the question? Despite of, that is wrong. The word despite never takes a preposition of. One thing you have to remember. And in spite of, in our country, many people write in spite of as two words. In spite of, not correct. Three separate words. In spite of. So, question number six, the prices are rising, though the government is trying to control. Question number seven, they founded a treasure when they went to the island. They were on the island. Despite of, not correct. They founded a treasure when they went or they were on the island. Were is missing. Here it is not founded, find, found. So the answer is they found a treasure when they were on the island. Yes, in spite of three separate words. The local community protested when they tried to fell the trees. Sentence number for Nagamani, first one to say correct. After that I see others haven't responded. Ravitej also says it is correct. Not founded, wrong. Found is right. Yes, that's right. Kalyan also says it is correct. Durga Bhavani, correct. Yes. Sentence number, what is it? Sentence number eight, no error whatsoever. The local community protested when they tried to fell the trees. To fell, that is a basic form or infinitive. Nothing wrong with that. The local community protested when they tried to fell the trees. The sentence is right. Question number six, that the prices, that is a subject. Who is this? Sir, there is no subject. Sheikh Rasul, there is a subject. What is the subject? Sentence number six, the prices. The water rising, the prices are rising. Water rising, the prices are rising. The prices subject. I hope you got it. Sentence number nine, the government hung the smuggler yesterday. Usually they don't hang the smugglers, they hang the terrorists. So what is the answer? Hung, a person, you cannot use hung, you have to say hanged. The government hanged the smuggler yesterday. And what is the last one? She hanged the dresses on the wall. Dresses, the things, then you cannot say hanged. You should say she hung the dresses on the wall. Question number 10, she hung. Yes, she hung. Has anyone got all the 10 correct? All the 10 correct? Now let us go to questions from previous year's papers. First, I think 10 questions go with error location, then 5 go with sentence improvement, and five go with consolidation. Already have learned 40 rules. Based on that, five questions related to consolidation. Now, let us go to question number one. I hung my t-shirt to hanger. Usually it goes with your shirt. I hung my shirt, clothes, dresses or shirt or trousers, any of these. It goes with everyday English. Hang, hanged, hanged. That goes with effective English, newspaper English. The whole block of flats, including two steps, were destroyed in fire. Oh, very good. Within no time. 8 out of 10. That's good. Sentence number one, I'm really surprised. A lot of students have got it right. The whole block, what is the subject here? Block is a subject. Block is third person singular. And the sentence is in past, was destroyed. Then third person singular, we should use the verb in the singular form. We have to use a singular verb. Then you may ask, sir, what is this of flats? The whole block of flats. Of flats is a phrase. And there's one important word here, including. When you use certain conjunctions, conjunctions like including, as well as, along with, and not, besides, in addition to, like, unlike, with, together with, then the verb agrees with the first subject. What is the subject here? Block. So, where is the error? There is an error in the second part, and it should be was destroyed in fire. Was destroyed. Which tense is that? Past tense, passive voice. The fire destroyed the whole block. Active voice. The whole block was destroyed by the fire. Passive voice. Good evening. A little late. Now let us go to question number two. Block, the whole block, that is a noun phrase. And in a noun phrase, you should always focus on the key word. The phrase, the whole block. What is the key word here? Block. That is singular. We should use a singular verb. In addition to, along with, as well as, with, together with. Yes, all these you have to recollect. Besides, in addition to, like, unlike. I'm going to teach under conjunctions. The box of eggs are lying on the table. Here, what is the subject? The subject is the box. Of eggs is a phrase. This is what precisely we call error of proximity. What is error of proximity? It's a universal problem. And in competitive exams, quite often they give questions related to error of proximity. Proximity means being close. Here, students who are not aware of the rule, who don't know what a subject is, what an object is, they focus on the word eggs. Eggs is plural and are. That is also plural, plural verb. So they think the sentence is right. They go for the fourth option. What is the fourth option? No error. Good evening. No error. But here, what is the subject? Box is a subject. Box is singular. Of eggs is a phrase. And box singular, we cannot say are, it should be is. So where is the error? Second part, there is an error. The box is lying. Now listen very carefully. I've got something important to say. In the past, when we talk about competitive exams, now there's so much competition, cutthroat competition. The reason being, a lot of people from the private sector, IT companies also, they are looking for government jobs. And the competition, the number has gone up. In the past, about 5 lakh candidates would appear. Now, lakhs and lakhs, 30 lakh, 40 lakh. You'll be surprised to know 2019, I suppose, 18, one particular bank exam, 97 lakh candidates applied, close to 1 crore. So, homework, assignment, I'll try to do that. So, now what happens? In the past, they would give sentences like this, very short sentence and easy to make out. But now it is not like that. They give lengthy sentences. And whenever there's a lengthy sentence, I've seen thousands of students, whenever there's a lengthy sentence, please listen very carefully. In the exam, you're under tremendous pressure. If you come across a lengthy sentence which looks like a paragraph, then it results in confusion. Any lengthy sentence usually has one or two phrases, one or two clauses. Then what are you supposed to do? You should know what the subject is. You should know what the phrases are, what the clauses are. Then you have to take the subject, look for the error, take the phrases, look for the error, take the clauses, look for the error. Only then you can locate the error. But you don't have any idea what a phrase is, what a clause is, then practically not possible to spot the error if at all the sentence is a lengthy sentence. So be prepared to work on lengthy sentences. Here, these are actual questions, but now they are not that easy. Nowadays, they're giving lengthy sentences. You've got to be a little careful. I hope it's clear. Now, let us go to SBI 5,454 vacancies, 17 lakh applied. That is mind blowing, mind boggling. I really wonder when I was young, bank exams, not this much competition, not this much competition. What is the reason? A lot of people would go for the private sector or they would take up something or other. But of late, even those who work for the private sector, they are looking for government jobs. Because of that, the competition has gone up. Now, what is question number three? Where is the error? The old lady swooned but was soon restored at senses. Thank you very much. Ashish, huh? You are rather. So, where is the error? This is a tough question, not easy. Swoon is something like singing or humming. This is a tough one. No one has responded. That could be the reason. Restored to. Very good. Who is this? Madhav has got it right. There is an error. There is an error. Here there's an error in the third part. The old lady swooned but was soon restored to senses. Restored to her senses. Restored to, not at. At is not the correct. It means something like singing or humming. Swoon, swinging or humming. So it is to senses, not at senses. It is related to preposition. Now let us go to question number four. I wish to heartily congratulate you for your astounding success. This has been given many a time. I will skip the question. Why do you want to skip the question? Oh, who is this? Sheikh Rasul asks, Sir, how do we find the subject in a sentence? Very simple, Rasul. When you read a sentence, you ask the question, what is this sentence about? Who is this sentence about? Two questions you ask. You read a sentence, you ask the question, what is this sentence about? Who is this sentence about? The answer is the subject. Example, the dog is barking. What am I talking about? What is the sentence about? The dog. The dog is the subject. He is listening attentively. Who am I talking about? He is a subject. And one more clue for you, in English, subject usually comes at the beginning of the sentence. Usually. Listen to my words very carefully. Usually, in English, we have 350 sentence patterns. The basic sentence pattern is subject, verb, object. Subject comes at the beginning of a sentence, but we do have exceptions. Sometimes subject comes in the middle of the sentence, sometimes subject comes at the end of the sentence. I'm going to bring those examples also later when I go to the next topic. Now, where is the error? This has been given so many times in so many competitive exams. I don't know why. One of the reasons could be it is a common error. A lot of people say when you tell someone I got selected, next spontaneous response, spontaneous reaction, oh, congratulations for your success. That is not correct. The word congratulate, congratulations takes a preposition on. Based on that, what is the answer? I wish to heartily congratulate you on your astounding success. Congratulate on, congratulations on your success. Astounding means astonishing. Then you may ask her, what is astonishing? Means surprising a lot. Astounding, astonishing, amazing, something incredible, mind blowing, flabbergasting. All these words mean more or less the same thing. Now let us go to question number five. With our great annoyance, we found the ground filled with broken glasses. Which one? Please mention the question number, Naresh. Sir, is there any error in first part? Which question are you talking about? Please mention the question number, then I will answer. I wish to. No, no, nothing wrong with that. Yes, yes. Let me go. I wish to congratulate you on your astounding success. Nothing wrong. Heartily, that is an adverb. I wish to congratulate. Absolutely no problem. Absolutely no problem. If you are looking for that, no issue, no problem. I'm not convinced with wish to. Who is this Naresh? It's a very strange statement. What do you want me to do if you're not convinced? I'm not convinced. I can't do anything about it. Usually, see what happens, jokes apart, all of you listen. I will tell you something very interesting. Please listen very carefully. Because based on that statement, I'm not convinced. We are all, English is not a mother tongue, it's a foreign language, it's a second language. Any language is an ocean. And what we know is only a little, any language for that matter, any subject for that matter, what we know is only a little. There's so much to learn. But generally, what people think, they learn a little, they think they know a lot. Many exceptions are there. And once what happened in a regular class, I gave one sentence. He lives in London. He lives in London. What is the verb here? Lives. And what is the appropriate question word? Where does he live? In London. In London. What is that? It is not an object. It is an adverb of place, adverbial phrase of place. Then one student said, Sir, I don't accept. On what basis? London is a proper noun. How can you say it is an adverb? His knowledge is limited. He doesn't know that London, in London, it can be an adverbial phrase. London can be an adverb or it can be a proper noun. Limited knowledge, we always try to respond. So, first you have to understand. Now, where is the error? First part, what is the error? Without great annoyance, that is not correct. Usually we say, to our, to our surprise, to our great annoyance. So we use a preposition to. That's right. English has rules, English has exceptions. Here, what is the answer? With is not correct. We should use to. To our surprise, a typical phrase, to our surprise, we have found something. To our great annoyance, we found the ground filled with broken glasses. So, what is the error? First part, there is an error. It is not with, it should be to. To our great surprise, a typical expression, same pattern. To our great annoyance. English is a Pacific Ocean. Any language for that matter is an ocean. Sir, my vocal is too weak. How to improve? What do you mean by vocal? You're talking about the voice, or you're talking about the accent, or what exactly are you talking about? 3 out of 5. We are still with error location. Today I have brought 10 questions. Error location. Please go to question number 6. This is an important one. Is a verb so in full infinitive there can't be an adverb in between? That will wrong according to split infinitive rule in question number 4. Who is it? Sumit. You're talking about question number 4. I wish to heartily congratulate you on your astounding success. There's nothing wrong with this, Sumit. If you're talking about question number 4, 4 is not correct. Actually, we say congratulations on your astounding success. But here you're trying to point out, I would like to congratulate you on your success. I will make another sentence. All of you, please listen. That's a very good doubt. I think you got confused because of the expression, I wish to heartily congratulate. I'll try to make it simple. I would like to congratulate you on your success. Is there anything wrong with that? I don't think so. I would like to congratulate you on your success. Nothing wrong with that. And generally, we don't make a sentence like this. What we say when someone says, I got selected, immediately we say, oh, really? Congratulations on your success. We don't say something like, I would like to congratulate. We don't say something like, I wish to heartily congratulate. Those expressions go with written English and formal English. Fluent English, you got to speak a lot. You have to speak all the time. The more, the better. Any language. Let me please answer this question. Then I will give the tip how to speak English fluently. Who is this? Abhishek. Please answer this question. It is not, excuse me interrupting you. No one has got it right. Someone has written. Pranita has got it right. I don't know how many students have answered because I was busy talking. Here, there is an error in the second part. What is the error? Interrupting. You see, interrupt is a verb. Interrupting, the verb in the ing form. The verb in the ing form we can use as a noun. Then we call it gerund. Now, if you have to use a pronoun before a verb that is in the ing form used as a noun, then that one should be in the possessive form. Based on that, it is not me interrupting, my interrupting. And my changes to, it is a possessive pronoun basically. It is my book. If I say my book, that is a possessive adjective. This is a common error. And sometimes what happens when you go out, you go to someone's office and someone is busy working, you say something like this, please excuse me interrupting or my interrupting you. They may think something is wrong with your English. And please excuse my coming late. That is right. But a lot of people say, please excuse me coming late. That is not correct. So there's a saying in English, what is it? Facts are stranger than fiction. Facts are stranger than fiction. Excuse my coming late, that is correct. Very good. Another example. It's always better when you listen to me, you make your own examples spontaneously. That will help in consolidation. Sumit, have you got it? Are you convinced or you still have a doubt? Let us go to question number 7. The severe cyclonic storm has left behind a trail of miser. Where is the error? The severe cyclonic storm has left behind a trail of miser. Now, where is the error? How come? No response. Excuse me. Am I interrupting you? That nothing wrong with that. There is a pause. Excuse me. Pause. Am I interrupting you? Absolutely no problem. It is correct. But one sentence, excuse me interrupting you, that is not correct. Excuse my interrupting you. We should respect every word in a sentence. So, where is the error? Aryan, yes. Is this Aryan from Madhya Pradesh? There is an error in the third part. It is not miser, it is misery. What is the right word? Raviteja has got it right. Misery. The severe cyclonic storm has left behind a trial, nothing wrong with the word trial. Trial of misery, not miser. Miser goes with a person. Who is a miser? Usually we say he is a miser, she is a miser. Means what? A stingy person. A person is rich but does not spend money. And what is the word for that person? We say miser. Stingy. Niggard, another word. Niggard. Yes, Aryan. Oh, welcome to the session. She has not completed her course, isn't it? There's a common error. Excuse me. Sorry for interrupting you. That is also right, Raviteja. But there's a pause. Excuse me. Sorry to interrupt you. Sorry for interrupting. Yes, pause is important. And written English, comma. I thought it may be idiom. Which one? Private aspirant. Which one? Idiom. See, she has not completed her course, isn't it? This goes with question tags. Here, what is a helping verb? Now, I'll spend 1 minute question tags. I will tell something interesting first, then I will tell the rule. In our country, there's so many people who are very good at English. Though they're good at English, surprisingly, when it comes to certain expressions, they make mistakes. One of them, when it comes to question tags, otherwise they're very good at English. When it comes to question tags, for every tense they say, isn't it? That is not correct. Every tense takes thank you. Every tense takes a different tag. For example, she comes every day, doesn't she? She came yesterday, didn't she? She will come tomorrow, won't she? She has already come, hasn't she? How do you form the question tags? You have to see the helping verb. What is a helping verb? She has not completed her course. Has is a helping verb. The sentence is in affirmative. Then in the question tag, you should use the word not. Helping verb plus not, short form. Then what is it? Hasn't. Has not, short form, hasn't. And you should repeat the subject. What is the subject? She. Hasn't she? Not has she. Hasn't she? Oh, here she has not completed. I'm sorry. Because the word not is there. She hasn't completed negative sentence. It should be, the word not should not be used in the question tag. Based on that, she has not completed her course or she hasn't completed her course. Has she? That is the answer. Very good. Has she? That is important. Sentence is in affirmative, you should use the word not in the question tag. Sentence is in negative, you should not use the word not in the question tag. She doesn't come every day, does she? She comes every day, doesn't she? That is important. Has she is correct. When it comes to I am not, what is the short form of I am not? It is aren't. I am not listening. I am not. What is the short form? Aren't. Who is this? Why are you not responding me on Insta? I'm not on Insta, so I cannot. Oh, you're asking, it's a question. Why are you not replying me on Insta? Better we say, why don't you reply? Why don't you reply? We don't use the present continuous, we use present tense. Why don't you answer? Why don't you reply? Why don't you respond? Usually we don't use present continuous. I'm not, who is this? Nagamani says, ain't I? Very good. It is good that you have mentioned. That is not correct. What is the reason? There's something called standard English. There's something called slang. SLANG. Slang means language in usage but not standard. Exam point of view, we don't consider slang. Exam point of view, I am not, short form, aren't. Why aren't? That is English you cannot question. Now let us go to next one. So what does it mean? Nagamaleshwari. What is the meaning of that expression? Why don't you reply? Huh? Why don't you reply? That is a better expression. We don't use in ing form. Why are you not? No. Why don't you? She is going to reply after your selection. Who is this Aman? Fine. Now let us go to, we are running out of time. It's already 8:17. PDF, no, I'm not quite sure. If you guys are very keen, I will try to give it. Why didn't you reply? That goes into the past, Ravi. Someone did not reply yesterday. Then you have to use why didn't you? Why didn't you reply yesterday? I called you yesterday. Why didn't you reply? Past. How long it takes to travel from Chennai to Trichy by train? It is not how long it takes. It should be how long does it take? How long does it take? Where is the error? First part. By train, nothing wrong. Who is this on train? No private working aspirant. Nothing wrong with by train. I will tell the rule. First, let me explain. Here, it is not how long it takes. It should be standard English. Conversation English, you may say how long it takes. But standard English, you have to say how long does it take? How long does it take from Delhi to Bombay? How long does it take from Bombay to some other place? So how long it takes is not correct. How long does it take? Now someone says by train is wrong. Nothing wrong with that. And listen very carefully. There's one important rule. What is that rule? If you are talking about car, train, bus, generally, you have to use a preposition by train, by bus, by car. But very specific train, bus, you should use on, car in, on the Rajdhani Express, on the Rajdhani Express, Rajdhani Express specific, then on, by train general, by car in BMW, in BMW specific. And usually people make a mistake when it comes to, if I ask some student, how do you come here every day? A typical answer, by walk. That is not correct. You have to use, there are two sentence patterns. How do you come every day? I come walking or I come on foot. I come walking or I come on foot. Never say by walk. That is not correct. Now let us go to, this is an important question. Seldom, if ever, nature does operate in closed and separate compartments. On foot, I come on foot, that is right. I come walking, that is also right. On bike, on bicycle, on foot, By train. No, 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 it is not like that. Private working aspirant, I've just given the rule. General use by for anything. By bike, by bus, by car, by train. Specific on bike, on the Rajdhani Express. Car, you have to use in BMW. Now, where is the error? Sentence number 10. We have only 10 minutes, we got to hurry up. Sentence number 10, where is the error? See here, there are three phrases. This is an important question. Seldom or never, seldom if ever, these two are right. Seldom or ever, that is wrong. Please listen very carefully. Seldom or never, correct? Seldom if ever, that is also correct. Seldom or ever, that is wrong. That means there's nothing wrong with the first expression. Seldom if ever, nothing wrong. No one has got it right. Answer is no error. What is the answer? No error. Seldom, if ever, nature does operate. Here, some students have said does operate. What is the difference between nature operates, nature does operate? The difference is when you want to emphasize, then you use a helping verb in between. Imagine someone asks you, do you like English? For God's sake, don't say, I don't like English. You will be in trouble. Casual, you will say, yes, I like English. Do you like English? Casual answer, yes, I like English. You want to emphasize, you like English a lot. You're passionate about English. And the same question they ask, do you like English? Yes, I do like English. I do like English. I do like English. You're trying to emphasize. Does she like music? Yes, she likes music. Casual. She likes a lot. Yes, she does like music. Right. English is not my cup of tea. Who is this? Anjali. You have to change. Now let us go to these are sentence improvement. Next five. Sentence improvement. I adore that. What do you adore, Aman? So, what is the difference between compartment and room? Actually, the word room has many meanings. Compartment, compartmentalized, separated. Room, usually many exams have given, there is no room in this compartment. One, there's a room. You all know that meaning. Another meaning of the word a room, space. There is no room in this compartment means what? There's no space in this compartment. Compartment usually goes with a particular place. Cricket is not, English is not my cup of tea. You cannot make your own sentences like that, Naresh. Now, where is the error? 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, not bad. A room means space, that's right. New hires in this laboratory should anticipate excellent research opportunities and getting valuable clinical experience. Answer is one is the answer. New hires, those who have been recruited recently, new hires in this laboratory should anticipate two things: excellent research opportunities as well as valuable clinical experience. After clinical, there is no comma. Valuable clinical experience. And also getting is not correct and obtaining not correct, no improvement. Answer is the first one. No, 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 no. Should anticipate two things. One is excellent research opportunities. Second is valuable clinical experience. Here we cannot use the verb in the ing form. Based on that, getting is not correct, obtaining is not correct. Given sentence, getting is also not correct. So what is the answer? The first option, no, as well as. There is an error. Please go to sentence number 12. As soon as I reached my house, I opened my cupboard. Elimination approach is better for one question number 11. You're right. Private working aspirant. Sometimes you got to take elimination approach. That is very important. Now tell me what is wrong with the sentence or there is no improvement. As soon as I reached my house or as soon as I reached home, both are correct. I opened my cupboard. 12:3. No. If you see the expression no sooner, then you have to use the word than. No sooner than, a combination. Hardly, scarcely, barely, when. So third one is not correct. No sooner than. You don't see than over there. Answer is the fourth option, no improvement. Answer is the sentence is absolutely right. No improvement. As soon as I reached my house, you can also say, as soon as I reached my, as soon as I reached the home. Don't say my home, home. I opened my cupboard. Shushma has wisdom, charm, and she has a good sense of humor. This is an important question. Tell me what is wrong with this sentence. Sentence improvement. How can you improve? Yes, who is this? Nagamaleshwari says, no sooner takes than, hardly, scarcely, barely take when. And if they begin, the sentence begins with any of these negative expressions, the clause should be in the interrogative form. Interrogative form. Hardly had I reached. You should not say hardly I had reached. That is not correct. No sooner I had reached, wrong. No sooner had I reached than. Here, it is this question is an important question in the sense it is related to parallel expression. Ask the question, she has what? Wisdom, charm. You cannot introduce one more verb, she has. That is not correct. It is not parallel expression. She has wisdom. She has charm. She has a good sense of humor. Then for all the three, we use the she has. Now, what is the correct sentence? Third option. Shushma has wisdom, charm, and a good sense of humor. I think many students have got it right. That's very good. Now let us go to sentence number 14. Sentence improvement, question number 14. If you were the Prime Minister of India, what steps would you have taken to end unemployment? Superfluous. Okay. Parallel expression. The question is about parallel expression. This is also an important question, question number 14. Today, many questions are very important, very useful, and not easy, a little higher level. 14, someone says, would you take a good sense of humor? That's right. Question number 14, answer is the third option. Here, this is something like a wish or a desire, something that is not real. If you were the prime minister, you're not the prime minister. If you were the prime minister, we should use a helping verb to be in the past, plural, whatever the subject were. If you were the prime minister of India, what steps? We use the helping verb would. What steps would you take to end unemployment? If you were a bird, what would you do? Then answer, if I were a bird, I would fly around the world. A typical example. Now, what is the answer? Third option is the answer. I would give a government job to every household. That's a good idea, noble. Now, let us go to question number 15. I think I have brought 20 questions. Consolidation questions you can answer within no time. Only 5 questions. Please answer this one quickly. Conditional sentence, exactly. It talks about wishes and desires and something that is not real. You are not the prime minister. If you were the prime minister, what would you do? Imaginary, exactly. Impossible we use with the past conditional because we cannot change past, impossible. This is something like imaginary. Imagine being the prime minister. A high school student is not even understanding the basics of chemistry and physics. These two are very tough subjects, not easy to understand. Now, what is the answer or where is the error? A typical high school student is not even understanding. Yes, here we cannot use present continuous. Answer is the first option. A high school student does not understand even the basics of chemistry and physics. That is correct. Now, consolidation, try to answer immediately. You should be able to answer within no time. One reading, you should be able to answer. The special jury are still debating the issue, not he issued the issue. So, is it right or wrong? Question number 16. Please go to question number 16. I think there's some time lag. I will wait, no problem. General sentence. Oh, I'm really surprised. Question number 16. How come is? Is. Oh, this is shocking. What is the reason? Already you have learned nouns rules. Collective nouns you have learned. What is the rule that goes with collective nouns? Collective nouns usually take a singular verb, but if the sentence talks about division, it takes a plural verb. Debating, debate means they're divided. Then you cannot use is. Answer is are still debating. No error. What is the answer? No error. I'm really surprised. Only Aman has said no error, and Durga Bhavani also. But many students have said is. No, no, you got to be very careful. Already have learned the rule. What is the rule? Jury, collective noun. Collective nouns like committee, jury, team, family, staff, they usually take a singular verb. But if you talk about individual members or you talk about the division, they take a plural verb and a plural pronoun. The master has given the new student an advice. Is it right or wrong? Yes, Ramakrishna. First one, no error. Consolidation, question number 16, no error. Question number 17. I may extend 1 or 2 minutes. Please answer quickly. It's already 8:31. Here, the master has given the new student an advice. The issue, not he issue, the. T is missing. Who is at Nagamani? I've said that. The issue. T is missing. Now please go to 17. Tell me where is the error? No one has responded. 17. Yes, you cannot use an article before advice. So an is not correct. You can use a phrase. The master has given the new student advice, or the master has given the new student a piece of advice. So there is an error in the last part. Now let us go to sentence number 18. Excuse me. The university offers linguistics, which are not a popular subject. The university offers what? Linguistics as a course, which are not a popular subject. Yes, and advice is wrong. What is this why, Anjali? Why means what? Nothing, but also we'll spend some time. I will try to touch those. Not today, we have run out of time. What is the answer? That is a rule, Naresh. If you learn the rules, already have completed 40 rules, please watch those videos. Then you understand why we should not use and before the word advice. Here, linguistics, a subject. There are some nouns always in the plural form, but take a singular verb. Mathematics, linguistics, economics, statistics, news, measles, mumps, rickets. So R is not correct. It should be is. The university offers linguistics, which is not a popular subject. Logistics, yes, logistics. Please go to 19. We have run out of time. It's already 8:33. Please go to several alumnus have agreed to help raise money for orphans. Now, where is the error? Linguistics, acoustics, Olympics, statistics, physics, mathematics. Yes, very good. Who is this? Naresh. That's wonderful. I appreciate. Please answer question number 19. I really wonder how you guys type so fast. Within no time, you come up with the comment. That's highly appreciable. It is not alumnus. Alumnus is singular. Here we are talking about several, means plural. We have to use the noun in the plural form. What is the plural form of alumnus? Alumni or alumni? No, no, has cannot be used. What is the reason? There is the word several. Several means many. Then we have to use a plural noun. What is a plural noun? Alumni or alumni. Now, the last question for today. We have found to our surprise The boat's crew amusing. Amusing means funny. Sentence number 17. Oh, you want me to go back to 17. Who is this? Thus, quickly. The university offers linguistics, which is not a popular subject. It is an active voice. It is active voice. The university offers. Linguistics is offered by the university. That is passive voice. What is the answer for the last one? Yes, yes, those who studied in a particular school, college, university. Have you answered the last one? Answer is no error. You have practiced this question. We have found to our surprise the boat's crew. Usually, we don't use a possessive case with things. You cannot say table's legs, you cannot say book's cover, but English has exceptions. And boat's crew, it is right. You can use boat's crew. This I've given already. You have answered. Now, before I wind up the session, again, please have a look at this. There is a combo offer, SSC and banks, set preparation, and you get 21% off and 12 months additional, 12 additional months, absolutely free. Old price 10,200, now 7,999, 12,200 and 9,999. You can use my code, referral code, Korlapati 4 hyphen 5077. Then you get another additional 10% discount. And today is the last day. I think today is the last day. That's it for today. Thank you very much. Good night to all of you.